Good morning. Yes, there I am. We join with other UUs in the tradition of striking the gong 3 times, once in memory of those who have lived, built, and nurtured this congregation, once in honor of those calling us home here today, and once for those who will be working very hard in the future. Good morning this Sunday, February the 2nd. My name is Larry High, and I'm your service leader today. We welcome you to this wonderful Umpqua Unitarian Church in Roseburg. In our congregation, you can be yourself, but not by yourself. Whomever you are, whoever you love, however you describe yourself and name the holy, you are welcome here. We especially welcome those who are visiting for the first time, those recently new to us, and returning again. We're so glad you're here with us today. Please stay after service for coffee and tea and conversation so we can all get to know each other a little bit better. Much appreciation goes to our greeters, music provider, Sean Shea, our media director, Jack Trainer, and our church administrator, Genevieve Gonzalez. It's my understanding we have an announcement, and to whom that, very well.
I just wanted to emphasize that we have the new directories available today. They are on the back table, and they are in alphabetical order. But when Genevieve put them in alphabetical order, I believe she was standing on her head because they are in reverse alphabetical order. So Andy picked his up. It was the one at the far end, and the W's and the XYZs are at this end. You'll find yourself in the middle. We will be handing them physically out this Sunday and the next 2 Sundays, and for those who have not picked them up by then, they will be mailed. Thank you.
Are there any other announcements? Okay, we'll move along. We now move in compassion for those in need who are hungry, ill, and without shelter. Our congregation service to the larger Roseburg community is to collect your contributions of food or money. This support of the Fish Pantry is a combined effort of several Roseburg churches. Our church offertory is later in the service. Thank you. Your gifts will help others. And while we are in the process of our fish collection, I'd like to welcome our live stream audience watching from home. Oh, the little kid got in me there. And now for our chalice lighting. The words are by the Reverend Dr. David Breeden, and it's called The Sacred. Welcome all to this place of love and justice, this place where we attempt to live up to humanity's highest ideals, highest hopes. Do we fail? Yes, we do, often. Do we try again? Yes, we do, always. Because we are people looking out for each other, all others, and the planet. Welcome all to this place of love and justice, to this gathering where the sacred and the holy are our being together. Our opening words today are by someone we don't know. He or she is unknown. But the words go something like this. In a world divided by words, the bond between humans and animals speaks of unity without language. When humans and animals stand together, the line between species fades and only love remains. Let me say that again. When humans and animals stand together, the line between species fades and only love remains. I don't think we have any children today, so we won't need to sing them down. Our first hymn is by Bill Stans. It's called A Place in the Choir, performed by our Sean.
I have a couple of slight corrections here.
Whoops.
One, there's a lot of children here, and I see them all in front of us. And two, it will be performed by the children, the choir, okay? Because y'all are all God's chillins, okay? Or all his critters. We're critters also, aren't we? We evolved from the bioluminescent plasma on the surface of this earth, and we're all part of the same family. Okay, here we go. So, Susie unfortunately couldn't join us, and so you guys are going to have to clap extra loud, okay? And you can choose to clap on the downbeat or on the offbeat, whatever you feel like. You can stomp your feet, hands, or paws, or anything you got. There you go. Okay, somebody already knows this song. Can you hear me on this mic? Okay. Where are we?
Sing the chorus again.
Let's sing the chorus again. Just clap their hands.
Wow, that was lively. We can all take a deep deep breath. And now we move on to our Joys and Concerns candle lighting. Now is the time in our service when we remember our joys and concerns with silent or spoken candle lighting regarding the significant milestones in our lives. I invite those who wish to light a candle, silent or spoken, to please form a line to my right. And please give your name and please be brief. offering is a sacrament of the Free Church. We are supported by the voluntary generosity of all who join us. The offering will now be given and received in grateful appreciation of our shared hopes and dreams and values. Whoops. For the gifts we have received, may we be truly grateful. May we be committed to using these gifts to make a difference in the world and to expand our beloved community. Please join us in singing "From You I Receive." You I receive, you I give, together we share, and from this we live. From you I receive, to you I give, together we share, from this we live. And now a wonderful anthem by our Sean Shea, "May the Circle Be Unbroken."
And some of you might be thinking, wait a minute, that song was written before he was born. And it was. And then it was rewritten about 40 years later. And then it was rewritten again about 50 years later. And who knows, maybe there's another version coming down the pike. But this is the updated one. It's not just a sad dirge, but it's a joyful celebration of our connection with all life. The chorus is about the same, so if you know that part, you can just sing along with that. But you're welcome to join as much as you make it, make it. Lift our hope, praise, we give God.
Oh, that anthem took me back to when I was about 13 years old in a Baptist church. And we could have it if we live what is it? We can have a better way if we try. Whew. Boy. Now, I'm back in the groove. Okay. Our speaker today is, I call Reverend Donna Smith. I would like to introduce her. She is a worldwide ministry spiritual leader whose training focused on pastoral care. She is most happy when she can help others find peace and joy in their lives. She is also a Unity chaplain, a Taizé prayer leader and trainer, a Reiki master and practitioner, a nonviolent communication teacher, a student and teacher of A Course in the Miracles, a teacher in the Way of Mastery, and is active in our Cares and Concerns ministry. Please welcome Donna Smith.
Good morning. Next time around, I'm going to be 3 inches taller. What about that music this morning? Sean, woo! Wasn't that fun? Wow, that was uplifting. I was also informed by Jody, this is a special day. February 2nd is Hedgehog Day, Marmot Day, National Brown Dog Day, and Sled Dog Day. So this is a special day, and I'm going to talk about animals. And tomorrow is Doggy Date Night, February 3rd. Isn't that great? I love it. So every month, the Unitarians put out a theme, and this month is Living Love Through the Practice of Inclusion. What is very interesting is Unity has this same theme, but it's called Unapologetically Inclusive. Great minds think alike, don't they? So let's think about the one mind. Many of our ancient and present day spiritual leaders teach that there's only one mind, and that our individual minds are a part of that, a part of this greater consciousness. Now, this concept of the one mind is defined as a unitary domain of non-physical intelligence and wisdom that is the source and creator of all life. And we've been told this for many, many eons. Ancient East Indian philosophies brought us the concept of the Akashic records, which is knowledge that is encoded in a non-physical plane of existence. The universe knows everything about us. The Upanishads proclaim, "Thou art that. The human and the divine are one." And then, of course, Jesus' words, "The kingdom of God is within you. And is it not written in your law that I said ye are gods?" So we've been taught this for a very long time. But how do we understand it? That's the next question, isn't it? So when you think about the one mind, it can be, like I say, difficult to understand because we have separate bodies, don't we? And they really don't promote the belief in oneness. But of course, this is a myth. The ego, which is another name for fear, only believes in separation, is very strong, and as much as we try, it influences our life greatly every day. But it will not teach us the concept of oneness, because as soon as it does, it means its demise. Our language does not support oneness. It does only support the idea of separateness. And we can just see that in our pronouns, I, we, me, you. But there really are no really good words that say oneness. So we have to just know it in our hearts. We can experience it. We can feel it. But it's very, very difficult to explain. You can't explain it, actually. You can only experience it. Max Planck, physicist and principal founder of quantum physics, said that science cannot solve the ultimate mystery of nature. And that is because in the last analysis, we ourselves are part of nature and therefore part of the mystery that we are trying to solve. Now, the term itself, one mind, implies inclusion, does it not? However, humanity is pretty good at practicing exclusion, aren't we? Okay, we exclude ourselves from other individuals, other forms of being. We have our opinions, our beliefs, not real good at listening to anybody else's, okay? So we're good at exclusion. And today in our chaotic movement that we're going through, which means that we are actually rising to another dimension, this exclusivity is raising its head in defiance. It's a last effort to survive, in other words. So be gentle with yourself. It is a process. But we must understand it cannot survive because it's not real. There's only oneness, and that's what's real. And that's what is going to survive, but it will survive through our hearts and our change of mind about who we are. So if one mind does exist, we would expect to see the following. A person could share thoughts and emotions and even physical sensations with a distant individual with whom there is no sensory contact. Have any of you experienced that? An individual could demonstrate detailed knowledge possessed by a person who has died, which that individual could not have acquired by normal means. Think about that. Distant communication could take place between humans and sentient non-humans, such as our pets. Large groups of mammals, herds, flocks, schools could behave in such highly coordinated ways that shared overlapping minds are suggested. We've seen that, haven't we? A dying or even healthy individual could experience direct contact with a transcendent domain in which it is revealed to them that they are, in fact, part of a greater mind that is infinite in space and time. Have any of you had those experiences? I've had a few, yeah. I think you have too. What I remember most about it is stepping outside of my body, watching everything like it's on a stage, right? But what it was very interesting, it was from a deep, unconditional love of everything before me. And everything was important. Even the lamp and the old chair that sat there with a cover over it because I was going to get rid of it because it was torn. After that experience, I kept that chair. That chair was very important to me. So you see things differently. You might expect an individual could find hidden or lost objects through mental means alone, or perceive in detail, without sensory contact, distant scenes that are known to someone else. How many of you had that experience? I think you probably have. All of these possibilities are not hypothetical, they are actually real. And we have known that now for a while, haven't we? Because more and more people are experiencing these kinds of experiences. The universe is opening up, and people are opening up their hearts to something else. It's that, that phrase, there has to be something better than this. And we are doing that. We're opening up, and we are seeing and feeling all of these. And so this stuff isn't woo-woo anymore, is it? It used to be woo-woo. I used to be called woo-woo, but nobody calls me woo-woo anymore. I love that. But, these numbers are increasing to the point where we can't ignore them anymore. And they're documented. So the ultimate argument for the one mind, according to Larry Dossey in his book, One Mind, which I highly recommend, he defines this concept as follows. Individual minds turn out to be not just individual. They are not confined or localized to specific points in space, such as brains or bodies, nor to specific points in time, such as the present. Minds, rather, are non-local with respect to space and time. This means that the separation of minds is an illusion, because individual minds cannot be put in a box or a brain and walled out from one another. Throughout history, many individuals, including eminent scientists, have glimpsed this fact. And this includes Nobel physicist Erwin Schrödinger, who proclaimed, "There's only one mind." And the distinguished physicist David Bohm, who asserted, "Deep down the consciousness of mankind is one." And my very own Unity minister, Eric Butterworth, said that the source of all that exists is present in its entirety at every point of existence. There is no space between us, in other words. I want to share two important quotes with you. Albert Einstein. He says, "A human being is part of the whole called by us universe, a part limited in time and space. He experiences his thoughts and feelings as something separate from the rest, a kind of optical delusion of his consciousness. This delusion is a kind of prison for us, restricting us to our personal decisions and to the affection of a few persons nearest us. Our task must be to free ourselves from this prison by widening our circle of compassion to embrace all living creatures and the whole of nature in its beauty." One more I want you to hear is Ralph Waldo Emerson. "We live in succession, in division, in parts, in particles. In the meantime, within man is the soul of the whole, the wise silence, the universal beauty, to which every part and parcel is equally related, the eternal one. And this deep power in which we exist and whose beatitude is all accessible to us is not only self-sufficing and perfect in every hour, but the act of seeing and the thing seen, the seer and the spectacle, the subject and the object are one. We see the world piece by piece, as the sun, the moon, and the animal, the tree, but the whole, of which these are shining parts, is the soul." So just think about it. Where would you be if you were not part of life? It's impossible to be outside of life, isn't it? And why? Because you are life. You are an expression of life. And life is eternal and forever evolving. And within this thing that we call life are all forms, physical, non-physical, human, non-human. There is nothing excluded. Oneness. So oneness equals inclusivity. One and the same. And when we as human beings can open our hearts and our minds to know this at its deepest level in truth, we will be living the truth of life that is for us. For we did not come forth to suffer. That is not why we're here. And so when we open up to this oneness and this fullness of life, suffering will be something of the past. I want to refer you to our seventh principle. Respect for the interdependent web of all existence of which we are a part. Unitarians and Unity all agree that we are part of the whole. There is no separation. So the deepest truth is that everything is happening right now. And I know that is hard to understand, but we are quantum beings, and that's for another sermon down the road maybe. But there is no out there. It's all right here within us. And when we reach that understanding, we can move forwards in life with just this amazing trip with creativity flowing and just be who we are. Now, I could go on forever talking about this, but of course I don't have time. I want to share a story with you, and it's very close to home, and some of you may have heard it. Bobby the Collie. During the 1920s, a 2-year-old dog named Bobby, mostly collie and a bit of English sheepdog, became a national sensation. His owner, Mr. and Mrs. Frank Brazier, restaurant owners who lived in Silverton, Oregon, were vacationing in Indiana when Bobby got lost. Despite intense efforts to locate the dog, the Braziers could not find him. Brokenhearted, they resumed their trip westward, never expecting to see him again. 6 months later, Bobby showed up, emaciated, at the family restaurant in Oregon. He made his way up to the second floor living quarters and jumped on the bed, awakening Frank Brazier by licking his face. No one could believe it. When the Silverton Appeal published the story, it quickly spread to newspapers across the country. The Oregon Humane Society launched an investigation into the Braziers' claims. By interviewing people, they reconstructed Bobby's route home, which they estimated was around 2,800 miles, much of which took place in the winter. Bobby did not follow his owner's route back to Oregon, but traveled an indirect course over terrain he had never seen or could have been familiar with. And this was no look-alike dog. His owners were able to confirm his identity by several unique marks and scars. Bobby became a celebrity, receiving medals, a gold collar, gifts from England, France, Australia, and America. He was given a key to the city of Vancouver, British Columbia. The Portland Board of Realtors gave him a fully appointed miniature bungalow in his home. Books were written about him. He played himself in a silent movie, The Call of the West, a reel of which is in the archives of the Oregon Historical Society Research Library. Bobby died in 1927 and was buried with honors at the Oregon Humane Society. Portland's mayor gave the eulogy. I can do this. A week later, Rin Tin Tin, the German Shepherd who starred in 23 Hollywood movies, laid a wreath at his grave. Dog to dog. I wasn't going to cry. So how did Bobby find his way across 2,800 miles of unfamiliar terrain? It suggests that the mind of the animal and that of its owners were part of a larger mind that permitted the sharing of information between them. If Bobby's owners knew the way home, that knowledge was available to Bobby as well. So there were not two separate minds communicating one to the other, but in essence, a single mind. This sharing of knowledge, whether between humans or between animals and humans, is nearly always associated with love and compassion and caring. And this process allowed Bobby to find his way home. And his case was not unique. Instances abound, and I'm sure you've heard of some. You may have even experienced some. Minoche, a German cat, traveled 1,500 miles in 61 days to be reunited with his family after being lost while on a vacation. An Irish soldier, his wife, and their small dog Prince resided in London. He was deployed to France, and within a few days, Prince showed up in the trenches under heavy bombardment to find his master. Prince had traveled through London, 70 miles of English countryside, hitched a ride across the English Channel, and then traveled over 60 miles to reach his master in France. How can we deny oneness? How could that possibly be? Yeah. Physicist Richard Feynman said, everything that animals do, atoms do. He was referring to the concept of entanglement. Have you heard that concept? This is a behavior in which particles, once in contact, remain linked thereafter, no matter how far they are separated. The linkage is astonishingly intimate. A change in one is correlated with a change in the other instantly and to the same degree. Now, how is that possible when they're miles apart? Now, those who have pets know about this connection, I'm pretty sure. You know, they become so intimate with us, and that we read each other's minds. We know what's happening and what each other wants. You know, I had a dog, Abby. I still sense her presence. When I'm taking my bubble bath, she loved to put her head on the edge of the tub and try to eat the bubbles. I feel her there sometimes. And when we would walk, she would get so close to me, she would almost knock me over. And I walk sometimes, and I feel her there. She's touching my leg. So they're still there. We just can't see them. I wanted to also, I cannot find the book. I probably borrowed it and gave it back. I'm not sure. But there was a movie dog, incredible movie dog, who used to go up on the top of a hill and meditate. He would come down into his place. He would open his cupboard where his toys were, take out one, play with it, put it back, and close it. That's intelligence, is it not? It's wisdom. So, consciousness precedes beingness, and not the other way around. For yes, we are in a physical body right now, but the truth is we are a consciousness who has decided to experience a physical body. So our beingness as a physical body was an option that we chose from our consciousness. And for this reason, I believe that the salvation in this human world lies within our hearts. The human heart is a symbol of the love that we truly are in consciousness. And this point of spirituality is not separate from the other natural world. We're all one. And the animals, the plants, and all of this is here to support humanity. And this is wonderful. They came here to do that. But how do we respond or react to that? Do we do that with respect or with no caring at all? So we have some work to do. So there is only connection and inclusion. And there just cannot be anything else. There's no place for you to go. Your life is eternal. So I want to close with some words from Larry Dossey from his book, One Mind. He says, if this great earth were to speak to us, it might summon us with the words of Rumi, the luminous Sufi poet of 13th century Persia. Come, come, whoever you are, wanderer, fire worshiper, lover of leaving. This is not a caravan of despair. It does not matter that you have broken your vow 1,000 times. Still come, and yet come again. And Dossey continues, and if summoned by the earth, how shall we answer? Each of us has broken our responsibilities to our earth and environment, therefore to ourselves and to one another 1,000 times. Yet it within our power to redeem our shortcomings by reclaiming our non-local nature, the one mind that unites us all with all else, including earth and all other forms of being. The one mind whose calling card is love, caring, and affection. When we sense our place in this great connect, our response is to honor that with which we are linked, as if it were our lover. This connection is eternal, no assembly required. Rumi again says, lovers don't finally meet somewhere. They're in each other all along. Let's take a deep breath and go into some meditation. How's that sound? Yeah, just relax. Close your eyes and breathe. Imagine you are breathing from your heart in and out. And I want you to think of something that brings you genuine feelings of love and compassion, joy, appreciation. Just hold that in your heart. You feel good right now because you're in coherence. Today, we know, acknowledge and affirm the truth that we are one. And each one of us is woven into the beautiful tapestry of humanity and all the other species that we share life with. Yes, we are unique, but we are united. In oneness, we open our hearts to the wisdom that diversity is our strength and unity is our calling. Together we create spaces of belonging where each voice is engaged, each story is unbound, each person is embraced. Every being and our Mother Earth is embraced in our love, our justice, our peace, and our respect. And we know that when we lift others, we lift ourselves. We lift the world. We lift everything. And today we especially give gratitude to the animals of life. They are our teachers, our silent companions, and our mirrors. Their love is unconditional, their loyalty unwavering, and their innocence a reminder of the purity we often lose in our busy lives. The way we treat animals reflects the very essence of our humanity, urging us to embrace kindness and empathy in all that we do. So let's take those words into our hearts for just a moment of silence. So let's bring our attention back into this space. Remember, we're in this together. Supporting each other is going to make us grow beyond our wildest dreams. And we're going to take the all that is with us. Thank you for being here today. Do we have time or? Okay. Yes. Yes.
Can you hear me? How about now? Better, okay. For such a wonderful sermon today, would you please join me in saying something that I've heard Reverend Jody say? Can I get an amen?
Amen.
We will now
Love
have
that. We could sing it too. Amen. 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 You guys are awesome.
Are there any questions or statements?
No tomatoes.
No tomatoes.
Sorry.
Okay, thank you.
I banned tomato throwing.
I
Are we
guess-
good?
Okay.
All right. Wonderful.
With some music.
Yes.
Here am I, here am I, here am I, here in my heart. Here am I, here am I, here in my heart. Every flower, every blade of grass, every tree and every single leaf lives inside here. Here am I, here am I, here am I, here in my heart. Inside here, here am I, here am I, here in my heart. Every bird song, yes, every melody sings inside me. Every creature, great and small, from air, from land, from sea, moves through me. Here in my heart, inside here, here in my, here in my, here in my heart. Every child born, every child yet to be, breathes inside me. Every sister, mother, father, lover, brother, hey, yeah. Inside here, she's in my, she's in yours, she's here in our hearts. He's in my, he's in your, he's here in our hearts. And all the tears uncried, all the love we hide resides here. And every time we hurt you, every time we hurt you, Mother, sweet Mother, dear Father, I'm in your, you're in mine. you're reminded here in our hearts. All of nature lives inside here. All of nature lives inside my heart.
We older people have to watch that we don't fall. Our closing words today are by the distinguished Indigenous Chief Seattle. All creation is one. What we do to one, we do to the entire web of life. Let me say that again. What we do to one, we do to the entire web of life. And now we will extinguish the chalice. The chalice words today are by the Reverend Tess Bomberger. It's called Less Beautiful Without You. This place would be less beautiful without you, Muslim, Christian, Buddhist, Jew, Hindu, humanist, and earth-centered too. This place would be less beautiful without you, your heart honed by hardship, grief, illness, seeking solace and comfort here among us. This place would be less beautiful without you, filled with joy and gratitude, seeking celebration of life's beauty. This place would be less beautiful without you, curious, inquisitive, asking questions, seeking transformations emerging from within. This place would be less beautiful without you, striving to resist a world that tells us we are so much less than we can truly be. Oh, this place would be less beautiful without each of us, born here in this morning to seek heaven's fire in each other's souls, our own flames rising to meet. Oh, this place would be less beautiful without you. As we end our service today, we are reminded we have come this way in love and the consciousness of love, recognizing that a loving spirit is all that there is. There's no other power, no other presence, no other all-knowing intelligence. It's just the spirit of life. And it's in this spirit that we live, move, and have our being. Oh, may each of you be a shining light for loving kindness to all you may meet this week. Please rise as you are willing and able and join us in our final hymn, Go Lift It Up. Please have a circle of oneness.
Oh, lift it up. Ooh.